What is up, guys? Delboy here. Just bringing you a quick prediction for Dmitry Bivol versus Sullivan Barrera. This fight goes down on the 3rd of March, and it will be for Dmitry Bivol's WBA light heavyweight title. Let's quickly go through the records. We'll start with the champion, Dmitry Bivol. He has a record of 12 wins, 0 defeats, 0 draws. 10 of those 12 wins coming by way of stoppage. Sullivan Barrera has a record of 21 wins, 1 defeat, 0 draws. 14 of those 21 wins coming by way of stoppage. Obviously, Barrera is the more experienced professional. He's had more fights and he's fought at a higher level so far. In terms of height and reach, Barrera is listed as 6'2" with a 73-inch reach. And Dmitry Bivol is listed as 6'1", but I actually can't find his reach anywhere. So I'm not sure what his reach is, but looking at both guys, I feel Barrera is probably like the longer guy, but whether that plays a part, I don't know. But yeah, that's the brief breakdown of both guys, their records and their dimensions. Although Barrera has fought a higher level of competition, to me, he still goes into this fight as the underdog, I've got to say. When I look at both guys, my eyes tell me that Bivol is the better schooled boxer. And Barrera's not a bad boxer. But one thing I've noticed about Barrera is when he's got it his own way, he boxes well. You know, he'll use his jab, he'll use his range. He likes to use that 1-2, the jab, right hand. You know, when he has it his own way, Barrera is really effective, and he can do that at a relatively high level. But when guys start to put it on him, when he starts to get tagged, I feel Barrera starts to lose his shape, his composure, and he does get drawn into needless exchanges at times. And we've seen that in numerous fights with Barrera, with Andre Ward, with Shabransky, even with Valera and Joe Smith Jr. You know, Barrera does get caught at times and he does leave himself open. He does take risks. He reminds me of Dorticos in that way, in a sense where... And Barrera is a better boxer than Dorticos, don't get me wrong, but he has that same kind of aggressive streak in him that kind of makes him lose his rag. I think he's the type of fighter who will struggle to keep his emotions in check. You know, and I have seen that in a couple of his fights, and I've seen that with some of the things that he said in the past. So I feel, although Barrera is a good boxer, like I said, he is a solid technician, good jab, good right hand, good timing, good distance control, good power. He's a good boxer, but I just feel that his composure should be a lot better for a world level boxer. I think that's one of the main aspects that let him down. And in a fight with Bivol, where there's going to be close rounds possibly, and when it's kind of on a knife edge, that type of personality and character trait might actually be a downfall. Bivol to me is a guy who, again, has solid fundamentals, great jab, lovely right hand, excellent timing, power. You know, he's got relatively quick hands for a light heavyweight. He's still young, he's continually improving, great footwork, solid defense at the level he's fought at. Bivol, like Barrera, is a very good technician, but the difference is, to me, Bivol looks like a guy who is more cerebral. He looks like a guy who approaches the game a little bit differently. He's much more of a thinking fighter than Barrera. Although Barrera is a boxer, he's a fighter at heart. And I think that's what's going to let him down in this fight ultimately. And we've seen Barrera in fights get dropped before. Bivol hits harder than Andre Ward. You know, he hits harder than Valera. He might hit harder than Joe Smith Jr. I'm not sure about that. But, you know, Bivol has very good timing. He hits hard. He hits you with shots you're not expecting. And in the exchanges, that's when Bivol is especially dangerous. That's when his right hand counter is very deadly. So, to me, I think he needs to box the most disciplined fight of his life. that's something he's not really done so far in his career. He did do it against Joe Smith Jr. for the most part, to be fair, but he needs to do something similar against Bivol, but he needs to raise it another level. You know, he can't afford to give Bivol silly shots away. He can't afford to let Bivol start to walk him down behind that jab. He can't afford to start taking right hands. Barrera needs to box, to me, on the back foot. He can't push Bivol back, in my opinion. I think he's too vulnerable for that. That is too risky. Although he has power himself, Bivol's not shown the vulnerabilities that Barrera has. So if Barrera approaches this aggressively, which he has done in the past, I think he could come unstuck, and he probably will come unstuck. He'll probably get knocked out. So to me, Barrera needs to try and box not even a negative fight, but a fight where he's not giving much away. Just keep it at range. He looks like the longer guy. Pop that jab. Use your back foot game. Try and frustrate Bivol. Try and see if there's any doubt in his mind in regards to going the distance at a high level, and see how he reacts if he loses a couple of rounds early on. Because if Bivol's sort of in a position where he's chasing a fight, we don't know how he's going to react to that. So Barrera, to me, it's essential that he gets a good start in this fight, because you don't want a guy like Bivol getting a bridgehead and getting confident early on in the fight. You want to give Bivol something to think about right away, and like I said, he either needs to do that by devising a game plan where he can frustrate Bivol early on, nick some rounds early on, and make Bivol chase the fight. Or alternatively, he can try and counter Bivol and catch him early with a big shot, make him realise that he's in there with a different animal. So to me, Barrera, his start in this fight is essential, because I think if he gets in a position where he's chasing the fight, there is a high chance he would probably get himself knocked out, because he would be chasing the fight. He would revert back to type, because he is an aggressive fighter at heart, and I think that would be bad for him. I'm not saying he can't win by being aggressive, because he does hit hard. He's always got a puncher's chance, but I just feel that would play right into Bivol's hands. Bivol actually, to me, has better timing. He's a better counter-puncher. So if Barrera is the aggressive one, then he really is going to leave himself open. How do I feel this fight's going to play out? I personally think it's going to be a battle of the counter-punchers. I think both guys are going to try to use that style. I feel the sharper, crisper technique of Bivol will be evident. I think you'll see the difference in punch technique. I feel Bivol's counter punches are a little bit quicker off the mark, and I think he will win the boxing match. Barrera then tries to turn it into a brawl, and he gets dropped a couple of times en route to a points loss, or he gets knocked out. So I'm going to go with a Bivol late stoppage or a Bivol points win. I can't decide what. Barrera is quite tough. He does get dropped a few times, but he does recover well. So I will give him that. He's a tough guy. He comes to fight. He's got power. He has a chance in this fight. But I just feel skill for skill, I think Bivol's a better fighter. Barrera does have the experience, but I'm not sure how much that's really going to count in this type of fight. I hope to see the winner go on to unify the division. I am a fan of both fighters. I'm a big believer in Dmitry Bivol. I think he'll shine in this fight. And I think this is the fight where he really makes a name for himself. And he really introduces himself as a top contender, a top champion at light heavyweight. What do you guys think? Peace.